Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a murder more than 40 years old. Now a Corbin man could walk the streets again. Today we could learn more about a fire that killed a 1-year-old boy in Laurel County. The child's father faces both murder and arson charges. And we will preview the first festival of the year for Eastern Kentucky and tell you everything you need to know.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Tuesday, April the 9th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, when you walk outside, you're going to be hit by a blanket of fog, and be ready for that. Give yourself a little extra time as you get to work or take your kids to school or anything else you might be doing out and about this morning, because you're going to need it. Brandon, no rain's falling, but there's just so much moisture in the air that it's making visibility slim to none.
Absolutely, and we're going to continue to see that through mid-morning. So no dense fog advisory, but a lot of folks, basically everyone, less than a mile of visibility. So just kind of keep that in mind as you head out this morning. Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County is backed off just a little bit, but still visibility poor in some areas, including up on top of Whitesburg Mountain there, Pine Mountain US 119. And times it comes back and forth, but you can see on the visibility map that it's pretty rough this morning. Temperatures in the 50s. As we take a look at the appcast for today, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies early, partly cloudy skies late, and temperatures in the 70s. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, the murder is more than 40 years old. Now, a Corbin man could walk the streets again. George Napier was convicted of killing his mom with a shotgun back in 1975. His family says they're concerned about his parole, saying they don't want him to get out. Caitlin Sentner fills us in.
We're worried about it. All of us are. We're really worried about it. We thought he was in there for life, for what he did.
Behind bars for murdering his mother, making headlines. That was back in the 1970s.
He came up for parole quite a few times, and it's been denied.
Kentucky's Department of Corrections has a website. There it shows George Napier's chances at parole. Convicted in 1975 to life in prison. March of 1981, he had a hearing, parole deferred. That happening 12 times more. Now family says the 77-year-old may be released, telling us they got a letter notifying them of parole granted. Right now, it's not reflected on the corrections site.
I'm 76, and I lived a great life, but I still want to spend more time with my grandchildren. I'd hate to something happen, and we're really worried about it because he swore in court that he would kill us when he got out.
A lot of life has passed, 44 years next month since George Napier's conviction. Family, though, still frightened thinking about that March day.
The murder he committed was almost unspeakable, when you could shoot your mother in the back and shoot at your younger brother, beat your father up till he was purple the next day when I saw him. We don't know what's going to happen if he gets out. We really don't. We're in the dark.
Now, again, that was Caitlin Sentner reporting. We are waiting to hear back from the Kentucky Department of Corrections on Napier's status. Today, we could learn more about a fire that killed a 1-year-old boy in Laurel County. The child's father, Vaughn Brock, faces both murder and arson charges. His preliminary hearing is this morning. Investigators could testify on what evidence they have against Brock. Police say he told them he smoked a joint and then laid down for a nap with his son. However, last week they said the little boy Cash was found in a washing machine. Well, a Knox County man accused of punching a child in the face, Dallas Lawson, is charged with criminal abuse and assault. State police say he got into a fight with his girlfriend Friday night. Troopers say Lawson hit the woman with a broomstick before punching the child. The little boy was taken to the hospital and was later released. 3 U.S. soldiers and 1 contractor were killed by an improvised explosive device near Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan Monday. That's according to the U.S. military. 3 other U.S. soldiers were wounded in the incident. A statement from the military said the wounded service members have been evacuated and are receiving medical care. The Taliban claimed credit for the attack, which involved a car bomb targeting a U.S. military convoy near one of America's largest military facilities in Afghanistan. At least 7 U.S. service members have been killed in Afghanistan this year. A California woman kidnapped while on safari in Africa is safe and will soon be heading home. 5 days after being taken hostage at gunpoint in Uganda, freed American tourist Kimberly Sue Endicott started her journey home. She left a wilderness lodge in Uganda where she got her first shower and food in nearly a week. Security forces found Endicott and her tour guide Sunday across the border in the volatile Democratic Republic of Congo. President Trump tweeted yesterday that the kidnappers should be brought to justice quickly so people will feel safe going to the area. To some, it might just seem like another fast food restaurant. But for those who worked at the Manchester McDonald's, it helped them provide for their family. This is video of the fire that destroyed the building on Sunday. Fire officials say it started as a simple grease fire. Yesterday, we heard the first calls for help. And WYMT's Phil Pendleton learned how it's impacting the community.
Sweetheart, McDonald's is on fire at the moment.
The morning crew at McDonald's soon realized the grease fire was too big to fight on their own.
No, not completely, but we got that on fire. We couldn't get it to go out. The sprinkler thing came in, everything. It's not going out.
Firefighters arrived from more than 8 stations in 2 counties and at one time believed that it was under control. But officials say that it got up in the roof and then out of their control. McDonald's was gone.
Oh, it's very devastating what's going on. My grandmother's worked here for 20-some odd years, and you know, it kind of hurt her a lot.
In fact, it was the livelihood, the bread and butter, quite literally, for 50 people. Beyond employment, it was also more than just a restaurant for many others.
Oh, you come in here in the morning times and you would see the older gentleman sitting to the left, you know, always talking about politics or trading knives or talking about sports.
Restaurant management told firefighters they would work with employees to make sure they can work until a new store can be built.
From what we was talking to the manager here yesterday, they're trying to make things better for them too, trying to find them, jobs at other restaurants that they own.
The owners say that includes helping to provide transportation to and from other restaurants that are at least 20 miles away. In Clay County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
McDonald's company officials issued a statement saying that the restaurant was closed when the fire started and no customers were inside. They say the Manchester location will be closed for several weeks. Well, a Perry County family escaped their home just moments before it went up in flames yesterday afternoon. The home in Hardburley was destroyed. Crews say they got a call about the house fire around 1:30. But when they arrived just a few minutes later, flames were already shooting out of the roof. It took several hours to put out the fire. Several crews worked together.
The homeowner said that they were inside. He heard something upstairs when he went to check. He found smoke.
Firefighters say everyone inside was able to get out safely. Crews do not know what caused the fire at this time. They say even with the rain and damp ground, because it was an older wooden home, the flames spread quickly. A road is back open in Leslie County following a mudslide. It happened on Kentucky 1780. The slide forced Leslie County schools to reroute a handful of their buses in order to get kids to school. This is something Superintendent Brett Wilson says they have to deal with, but the cooperation of bus drivers, monitors, and state and local road personnel helps the process go faster.
Our bus drivers, they know where their kids live, and they are very effective at helping us figure out the best routes as well, because our drivers know our kids.
Kentucky 1780 is back open and you can now drive on it. Well, nearly 3 years after floods devastated communities along the Elk River and in the southern part of West Virginia, many people still need help. But an audit of this state disaster spending is showing a lot of work on paying for recovery needs to be done. Among the recommendations, faster repayment to cities and counties, the use of state matching funds to bolster federal aid, and making sure federal grant money gets spent before deadlines expire. Meanwhile, city officials and police prepare for a big week in Pikeville. Hillbilly Days kicks off Thursday and runs through Saturday. Vendors have already started arriving. We found some of them yesterday. Soon, they will line the streets of downtown. Setup begins Wednesday night. We will, of course, be there with you. Stop by our tent for guest weather on Thursday and Friday. We will be at our new bureau just down from the Jenny Wiley Theater.
Well, the forecast this morning can be summed up in one word: foggy. Let's take a look at those visibility numbers as you head out the door this morning. Less than a mile or zero visibility in a lot of locations, so please be careful. We're even down below that 5-mile threshold now in Moorhead and in Jacksboro. Satellite radar clouds trying to clear out, but it's going to be a slow process today. At least the rain has moved off for now anyway. 52 in Monticello, 49 now in Ashland. That's the new cool spot. We're seeing anywhere between the upper 40s and low to mid 50s across the area. That's a few degrees cooler than it was this time yesterday, when some spots were close to 70 this time yesterday morning. We'll be up close to 70 by lunchtime, and if we can get that sun out fast enough, mid-70s for sure today. But again, it's something we'll have to kind of see how it plays out with the clouds and the sunshine, and see how it plays out later on this afternoon. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. We take you to the land of Oz. The Wicked Witch doesn't stand a chance against this Dorothy and her dog. And a pediatric nurse is speaking out about her dream of becoming a mother came true. We will tell you how it became a reality.